called, this is called When Will Star Citizen Release, plus the future of the game from Obsidian Ant.
Citizen will exit alpha after 2027, at least according to a poll I recently created. Okay, well, that's hardly scientific, but it is a reflection of community sentiment, even if it does suggest that a few people take the idea, well, not very seriously.
I mean, I think yeah, they're not going to take that poll seriously. They're just going to choose.
Also, plenty
if 2027 was 2050, that's what would have won.
of comments from people who expect Star Citizen to never exit alpha. Of course, do keep in mind that the poll isn't a reflection of my personal opinion, although I suspect some people will accuse me of a blatant troll attempt there, but at any rate, the release date for Star Citizen has been a long-standing question ever since 2012. For those of you who do want an answer to that question at the front of the video, well, the answer is simple. We have no clue. It's also unclear on when Star Citizen will exit alpha and enter beta, but more on the beta point in just a moment. Regardless then of dates, what even prompted me to ask this question in this specific video?
Yeah.
Well, it was none other than Chris Roberts himself.
The letter from the chairman.
In a recent letter from the chairman, Chris gave an update on the Star Citizen project. So, the first 626 words of the letter discuss the challenges faced by the studio due to the pandemic and related issues. These, of course, are entirely understandable and have caused significant problems in a multitude of industries. The rest of the letter, however, goes into a fair amount of depth on many other things. Now, to be perfectly fair here, there has been some debate recently from the many corners of the community expressing some concerns over Star Citizen development. Some people feeling that development may have slowed down in terms of content releases, other people feeling that not enough significant progress is being made in terms of new gameplay loops. This video is...
Dude, they are all over. Everybody is all over Morph for that comment. That comment is totally reasonable. So, you know, you didn't get enough chance to read it, but like, not this comment, but just like in general, like that I think, like, I'm not trying to kill people's excitement. We're going to get great events. I said I'm sure there'll be some more missions around what we already have, but is any of this a significant leap forward? Like, we haven't taken the significant leap yet. Just because it's working, like, in their office or whatever, like, that leap forward has to be on all of our machines for it to be a legitimate leap forward, right? Like imagine being, like, completely reasonable and people getting mad at this guy for it. It's insane. I don't think Obsidian Ant is mad at him, by the way.
A few of the recent updates Chris Roberts did touch on, and some of these, I think, depending on how you look at them, are pretty significant. Perhaps the most notable is the Stanton star system finally getting complete. Volumetric clouds were added here, they got introduced, and the planet of Crusader became landable. Additionally, medical gameplay as well as player looting and inventory management were added as well. There are also numerous other things added, but those were probably among the most standout things. Of course, all of that without mentioning some of the in-game events that have also taken place over the last 18 months or so. Now, either way, the future of Star Citizen
is a good way to package the letter into a video the way he's doing this.
The two biggest points of discussion then are patch 3.18, most likely due later this year, and patch 4.0, which won't arrive, or at least on the live servers, until next year. Now, 3.18 is a significant update. Why? Well, because it will add full persistence to the game. Here's Chris's words to explain what that means. Persistent entity streaming is the foundational tech that enables server meshing. PES is the hardest part of the work needed for server meshing and is the one that has required the most engineering.
I call it PES. PES is a way better way to say it.
It fundamentally changes how we record state in the universe and delivers a level of persistence that you just don't see in other games, whether they are MMOs or even single-player experiences. Up until now, all persistence in the game has been tied to a player's inventory, ships you own or items you hold physically in or in the virtual inventories of items you own. If you've physically attached an item inside your vehicle, say a rifle, to a weapons rack, when you log out or stow the vehicle, it will remember all the attached items and anything that vehicle's virtual inventory holds. However, if you drop or place something loosely inside even a ship you own, it won't be associated with any player inventory. So, when you log out, or even if the server crashes, the item will not.
I'm still so confused by this. because it literally does save. So everything that he's reading now is actually contradictory to the way the game works now. So if the game crashes, like they did the heartbeat thing, and like I'm so confused because the heartbeat thing is a thing. If I drop a gun inside my ship and the game crashes, that gun will be on the floor in that ship. So there's like elements of persistence that actually are in the game, but they're just band-aided in until PES actually works.
Not be there when logging in or rejoining. With PES, we are recording the state of every dynamic object in the game, irrelevant of whether it is owned or held by a player. That means that you could drop a gun or a med pen in a forested area on Microtech and return several days later after logging out to find the gun or med pen still there, assuming another player didn't grab them. So clearly the persistent entity tech is a very big deal, and incidentally Chris Roberts did mention that they have tested this successfully very recently. Now, it's not the only big tech or the big change coming to Star Citizen, and not the only thing that will arrive in 3.18. The persistent tech itself will allow for new gameplay loops such as the long-awaited salvaging. Of course, persistence will sound familiar to some of you, and that's because CIG have been discussing it for nearly half a decade at this point.
Oh no, Obsidian found these images, dude.
Chris stated that development on this aspect of the game has been challenging. In fact, they essentially threw away years of work on the previous iteration of this technology, which they called iCache, once they realized that it wouldn't be efficient enough to achieve their goals.
By the way, anyone watching this video, there is an entire like Imager album of, like we call them the receipts of all the dumb shit they've said over the years. Like, oh, this cool new thing that you're going to be getting next year. So when you read letters like these, you stay more grounded. This is like one of the only letters I haven't stayed grounded in.
That basically happened at the start of 2021. Either way, CIG insists they now have made significant progress on this aspect of development. As I said, they have successfully tested the persistent entity streaming.
Chat has it. Link the album. They're always posting it in
Additionally,
Discord. I don't know where they come from.
Huge graphics rendering overhaul with Gen 12. This is basically a move to improve how efficient PCs can render the game. Part of this will come with 3.18, whilst the full implementation of the Vulkan API will come a little later. So far, CIG say they have...
That was actually one thing I never mentioned in my letter was the Gen 12 stuff, because I tend to stay away from the technical stuff because I don't really understand it.
Been working on Gen 12 for 2 years at this point. So, when will 3.18 release? Well, CIG are aiming for it to go onto the private test server, Evocati, for a period of around 3 months, after which it will arrive on the live servers in Q3 of this year. Whether or not they hit that date, we'll have to wait and see. It won't be the first time that something gets delayed after all, but you know, sometimes they do hit that date as well. Now, patch 4.0 is perhaps the bigger deal for Star Citizen overall. This brings with it the fabled server meshing, which is essential for additional star systems to be added into the game. Patch 4.0 then will deliver both server meshing as well as the new Pyro system. The current release window for this is Q1 2023. Based on what Chris Roberts said, however, it seems very likely that this date will slip. Now, interestingly, Chris also suggested that Alpha 4.0 is the road towards beta, but unfortunately there's no indication on just how long that trip will be. And I guess it also means that beta won't be coming at any point during the Alpha 4's sequence of patches. Maybe Alpha 5 and beyond then, who knows. Meanwhile, in between these big patch releases, CIG will continue.
I'm sorry I'm not reacting very hard to this one, guys, but like there's been a lot of Chris Roberts letter content lately, so it's mostly, you know, yep, that's what he said.
To push in-game events and other updates out to Star Citizen. Overall then, Chris paints a picture of a game that is in very heavy development. He also goes to highlight that CIG continue to grow as a company, with nearly 800 staff and well over 100 external contractors. Also many other new staff on the way as well. New offices are on the cards both in Manchester, England, as well as in Frankfurt, Germany. At the end of the day then, it's very clear, at least to me, that CIG are making progress forward with Star Citizen. But not everyone will see it that way. Star Citizen very clearly remains a game that is in early access.
What's interesting is he says it's very clear that Star Citizen is making progress forward. I think that's what he said. Let's just listen to that again.
But not everyone will, as well as in Frankfurt, Germany. At the end of the day then, it's very clear, at least to me, that CIG are making progress forward with Star Citizen.
Yeah, like progress forward with Star Citizen. It again is just what they said. Now, I think every patch, I do think Star Citizen progresses forward, but it doesn't matter unless features like PES or PES or server meshing or the dynamic economy and a number of other things, when those come online, that is when you can say that they've made progress towards Star Citizen. Because in the last few years, it's hard to say that they've in behind the scenes may have been making progress to those things, right? Because PES, they had a demo in the office, they said. But until we see it, until that progress is seen by the player, is it really progress? It's hard to... It's kind of an argument. There's an argument to be made there. And in general, Chris is known for saying things and not achieving them, right? Over the last few years, significantly, much worse over the last 3 to 4 years than any other time. So it's easy to be skeptical right now. It's also easy to be optimistic. It's a weird time. We're all at a fork in the road, and you could choose which way to go, right? Like, it's very clear that they're working towards making progress, but as they said in the article, which I don't think Obsidian has mentioned yet, is they're not sure if this tech will be the progress until they put it in and see what happens. That was a big theme of this article. And we can take, we're at a fork in the road, guys. You can either be a little bit more optimistic about things, or you can just continue to be skeptical. And I decided to take a different road than constantly being skeptical about everything here. This just felt different to me. Maybe that feeling is gas or something, and it wasn't a real feeling, but this one just felt a little bit different this time. And that's why it feels like, okay, well, the next step is showing me. If they don't show me, guess what? I'm going to take a U-turn, and I'm going to go take the other fucking road, all right? But for right now, it feels right.
But not everyone will see it that way. Star Citizen very clearly remains a game that is in early access, and one without any planned release date in sight. For some people, that will not be a problem. After all, Star Citizen is about ongoing development, and development at that to build a huge, vast-scaled game. For other people, however, they will look at the $500 million so far raised for the game and wonder where it has all gone. I mean, let's be honest here, $500 million is a huge sum of money.
I mean, a lot of it was wasted. I think a lot of it was wasted. But we'll see. We've never seen Squadron.
Nearly twice the cost of GTA 5 and over twice the cost of Star Wars The Old Republic. Naturally, I'm sure there's people pausing the video right now, not liking what I've just said. They don't like that being pointed out, but you know, I'm not judging, just highlighting facts. And to return to the question
I just paused the video to pause the video because he mentioned pausing the video.
Of a final release date, I do wonder how many people even care about that. After all the time CIG are updating Star Citizen, I can understand why people will question whether a release date even matters, and certainly not if CIG keep making money. And to be honest, there are plenty of other live service games out there in a final release state that get far less updates than Star Citizen. That said, I personally think the lack of information on a release of Squadron 42 is far more concerning than any information about Star Citizen. And on that count, CIG have absolutely no news whatsoever. That then brings us to an end of this video. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys and girls next time.
Thank you, OA. Thank you very much, man. I thought that was a really good way to package the Roberts letter, by the way. Thought that was pretty cool. I wasn't expecting to have him read the Roberts letter in that one, but that was interesting. Thank you, Obsidian Ant, for that one. That was very nice.